Come on, guys. There was a time in my life when I first got business, I thought you could design the ideal product and make the ideal manufacturing environment and just let it run. And then I discovered that there's not a thing you're doing that you can't be doing better. Some people look at design as just this little detail, but I see design as a huge idea in how we bring creativity and innovation to the solutions. These were some of the products that Dad was making in the 50s. The business came from a small group of people that were working hard, and when I joined it in high school, we had 69 employees. That's not a big company.
Do you think about that sometimes? Like, oh my goodness, what have I created?
You look back and you say it's amazing. You say this is where we are, and here's things that we're doing good, and here's things we're not doing good, and can we fix those things, and you grow. Dad started the business in 1948. He built store fixtures. He built fishing lure displays. He would do almost anything that he could do with some woodworking capability at the time. I liked manufacturing. I liked the plant environment. And that's where I got some of the skills to build a boat.
Do you have a picture?
I have some of the pictures.
Let me see.
Okay, the first boat that I built was this one. Mm-hmm. So then I built this boat when I was in college, a little hydroplane.
Wow.
This is Matthew, my son,
yes.
in that boat. And then this is the sailboat that I built when I was in the service. When I came out of the service, Dad asked me to take on the leadership of manufacturing and new product development. And we designed and developed the panel-based systems product that we called Modern Office Modules. We abbreviated that as MOM. And then we said we someday should get into portable office partitions so we could make both mom and pop products.
That'd be cute. I mean, this was absolutely your baby, and it changed the business.
Yep. I would get questions around how do you get power to the work surface in a panel-based system. I love to find new ways and different ways of doing things. I mean, it really excites me. So I went to the hardware store and bought everything electrical that I could find in the hardware store. I bought extension cords and receptacles and switches and wire, and went back to the factory on Monday and threw it out on a conference table, and I says, we got to figure it out. The product was Era 1, and it evolved and got much better.
Yeah.
The pre-wired powered panel was a significant impact to the marketplace. 2 years later, everybody in the industry in some way infringed those patents. Our choice was get out of the business or to figure out how to survive. Litigation is draining, but we had to protect our intellectual property or we'd be just copied more. We used our revenue from intellectual property settlements and invested it back to grow the business.
I was working in a company called Castelli in Italy, and we were looking to find a partner, a buyer, and Haworth, a group of Haworth management came and visited us, and we negotiated for a while. We ended up selling the company, and in the process of sale, I met Dick Haworth for the first time. He was the man that is today, very authentic, a little careful, with a little sketch. What do you think about this? At times, like with great ideas, in the middle of a conversation. Have you ever thought about?
One of the beauties about being global is there are centers of excellence around the world, many of which are not in West Michigan, kind of they are where they are. We started our acquisition in '88 to expand globally and create a similar capability around the world.
When I became CEO, I spent quite a bit of time with Dick. And those 2-3 years of collaborating with him, I understood this guy so down to earth. He owned an empire. He had built an empire and he owned an empire. That's where it started to become wow.
Design drives every one of our product projects. It is embedded in who we are, and our objective frequently is to design products for the global marketplace. So this facility also had to support a global organization. It has to be much more than just a Midwestern or a North American facility.
Weren't you excited about the process?
Yeah, and when Perkins and Will came in with some ideas, one of the few times in my life we picked the most expensive. Yeah, okay. So, I'm pretty frugal. But this is something that we believed in and we wanted to invest in, and it's been very rewarding. We believe in really intensely studying human interactions and how people work together, and that's driven a lot of our new products. This is a lot of the future of where digital collaboration is going to go. We're in the physical space business. This is virtual space. As soon as I put a bluescape system in a room, I now have 7 million square feet of virtual space that I can work in with multiple people.
That's crazy.
If you're on an airplane with an iPad and you have Wi-Fi access, you can join this session. And so you can now begin to collaborate.
It's a tool that is so essential, basic. I feel a little like I've given somebody a pencil for the first time, and I wonder what they're going to do. And that's kind of exciting.
So you like engineering, but you're not an engineer. You studied architecture, but you're not an architect. And you like design, but you're not a designer. So Dick, who are you?
I like to be involved where I can make a difference.
Early on, we've been married 50 years, we made an agreement that if he was to grow the company and we were to grow a family, we wanted one of us home. So I wanted to do that, agreed to do that, and so I considered that sort of my part of contributing to the family.
I think there was many, many days that her job was tougher than mine. So
yeah, yes, during the teenage years. So as they went off to college and got married, that's when I started really having a studio and a toy store. And this is teeny tiny toy store. Ooh. I take toys to the hospital about every other week, so I've been very involved there for 10 years.
But it feels good to do that.
Oh, I love it. I mean, who wouldn't want to be me?
Yeah.
Look what I got.
Yeah.
Bethy and I really wanted our children to do things that they thought was important. I dreamt of having my children interested in the business, and I've been really blessed with Matthew because he's not just interested, but he's very passionate about it.
When I became chairman, probably the most profound discussion we had prior to me formally being announced as the chairman was about values. Dad sat me down and he said that your number one job is to deepen the root system of our values. When we went zero waste to landfill, that came from a plant member. Or in the 90s when we put in a recycling plant with Bill Gurn, again, our values drove us to do that.
When you think about building a house or a building, I think about the foundation. Dick has built, through his value system, a great foundation. So if you look at the Haworth family from GW to Dick, now passing the torch to Matt, it's about a succession plan and a look to the future that gives you some security that you can work at a place that is future focused.
Project Clarity is looking at the entire Macatawa watershed and where the water comes from, what's the quality of that water, and then what can we do to address the issues caused by the problems in the watershed. It's part of our passion to do those kinds of community things. Let's take it up to speed.
So together, Dick, Matthew, and I are, probably in the last 5 years, have really redesigned the company.
When I walk in every morning into this building, it puts a little smile on my face.
This building in front has written Haworth, and that means so much. He loves the company, he loves the customers, and he's very much putting that first.
If we do our job right, we improve the environment for everybody that works in the spaces that we influence. How are we doing today?
Great, how about you?
And that's pretty powerful. I like to think that we're helping people live a better life.